What's good? It's Woog. We are continuing our 2022 Grammy Award coverage, and now we are getting into the major categories. In this video, we are tackling Song of the Year. This is actually one of the oldest categories in the Grammy Awards. This is one of the four major categories. There are four major categories, and then you have a lot of genre-based categories. The four major categories are Record of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year, which we're covering here, and then Best New Artist, which we just covered. Check that out. But Song of the Year is one of the oldest traditional Grammy Award categories. It started back in 1959, and the first few winners of this award were kind of just that traditional pre-rock and roll style of pop ballads. So, you had like the Henry Mancinis, like he was the man at the time. I think he's got 2 wins in this category. One with Moon River, and then the other with Days of Wine and Roses. A Sammy Davis Jr. song won in 1963. But the thing about this category is it's a songwriters award versus Record of the Year, because a lot of people get confused between the two. Like, what's the difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year? Well, Record of the Year is like the final recording, so it involves more of the production. Basically, the last version that you hear on the radio and so forth, the complete production of the song is Record of the Year, and Song of the Year is a songwriters award that is awarded for the composition of the song. So we're talking the lyrics, the lyrical melody, and so forth. Although producers these days are now credited with songwriting credits along with the songwriter and often the performer if the performer played a role in the songwriting, which they often but don't always do. So you will often see like long lists of names, like regular names. Like, it's not the performer name that you'll often see in the parentheses, but what their government name is. So you'll see like the performer's name, you'll see the other co-songwriters' names included, and you'll often also nowadays also see the name of the producer included as a songwriter. So a lot of people are given a Grammy Award for the song if the song wins. So when Sammy Davis won in 1963, he won it for the song "What Kind of Fool Am I?" And the guys who actually won the award were Leslie Bricosse and Anthony Newley, because they actually wrote that song. When Louis Armstrong won, or a Louis Armstrong song won in 1965 with "Hello Dolly," the award was actually given to Jerry Herman, because he wrote the song. Tony Bennett won it in like 1966 with "The Shadow of Your Smile," but the 2 people who wrote the song were credited with the award there. So it's an interesting award. You had a lot of songs that blacks performed on winning in the early years, like throughout the 60s, like The Fifth Dimension won with Up, Up and Away, but Jimmy Webb wrote Up, Up and Away, so he was awarded that Grammy. Roberta Flack songs won in back-to-back years, 73 and 74, with "The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face" and "Killing Me Softly" with his song. But she wasn't given the Grammy for either of those because she wasn't credited as the songwriter of those songs. The Beatles won in 1967, so Lennon and McCartney wrote the song "Michelle," even though you get the feeling that it was primarily a Paul McCartney written song. But yeah, Lennon and McCartney won it in 67 with "Michelle," which appeared on 1965's Rubber Soul album. And if you look at the list of awards and nominees throughout the years, you've got some very, very good ones. Like, a lot of people criticize the Grammy for not getting it right or being out of touch and different things like that. And yeah, they might not always get all of the songs that on its surface are deserving of Song of the Year accolades. But it is a good mix of the song has to have some level of visibility, and it has to just be a good song composition wise. And I feel like they do a fairly good job. Like, if you look at some of the more recent years, when you get into the 2000s, Amy Winehouse won with Rehab. Coldplay won with Viva La Vida. Beyonce won with Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It. That song included several writers. And if you look, especially nowadays, at the laundry list of songwriters for some of these songs, like even if you look at this year's nominees, like Justin Bieber's Peaches, for instance, has a ton of songwriters. Whereas in other cases, like Adele's Rolling in the Deep, it was just Adele and Paul Epworth who were credited with that one. And Paul Epworth was actually the producer. So remember I said producers often are credited as songwriters. So it looks like Adele actually did the bulk of the songwriting for Rolling in the Deep. Lorde won it in 2014 with Royals. Sam Smith with Stay With Me. Remember how big that song was? Alicia Keys won it with Falling back in 2002. Norah Jones won it with Don't Know Why in 2003. And if you look at like who some of these winners beat out, you see some excellent songs that were nominated those respective years that just didn't win the award. The most recent winner of this award was H.E.R. with I Can't Breathe, which, was written and recorded around the time of those, June 2020 protests. Remember how mega that was in that COVID summer when all of the police shootings were taking place of Black victims, and there was just this groundswell of racial tension, and everybody on Instagram had the black box or something, to show solidarity. But yeah, H.E.R. won it with I Can't Breathe. Most recently, she beat out songs like Taylor Swift's Cardigan, Roddy Ricch's The Box, Dua Lipa's Don't Start Now, Billie Eilish's Everything I Wanted. And speaking of Billie Eilish, she's nominated this year and she won it 2 years ago with Bad Guy. And that award was just given to her and her brother Phineas because they are basically the only writers generally of a lot of Billie Eilish's songs. Now, the songwriters with multiple wins, or with the most wins, there are only a handful that have 2 wins. It's Adele, Bono, Adam Clayton, The Edge from U2, along with, as I said, Bono also from U2, and Adam Clayton is also, from U2. So all of them have 2 wins because U2 has 2 wins. But James Horner has 2 wins. He wrote, co-wrote, and largely composed like My Heart Will Go On, that Celine Dion Titanic song. And Will Jennings also won an award for My Heart Will Go On. So he's one of the guys with 2 wins in this category too, because he did My Heart Will Go On as a songwriter, and he did Tears in Heaven, which won it like in 95 or 94. That was the Eric Clapton Tears in Heaven song. Henry Mancini, as I said, has 2 wins, as does Johnny Mercer, and another musician from U2, Larry Mullen Jr. So those are the only people who have won twice in this category. The leaders nominations wise, Paul McCartney has 6 and Lionel Richie also has 6. So it's a 2-way tie between Paul McCartney and Lionel Richie. And then after that, with 5 nominations, you've got a 4-way tie with Burt Bacharach. He wrote a lot of songs that were sung by like Dionne Warwick, for instance. Marilyn Bergman. And then you've got John Lennon, Bruno Mars, and Taylor Swift, also with 5 nominees. And then you've got a handful of people, basically twice the amount of people who have 4 nominations. But I just gave you the 2-way tie with 6 nominations, and then after that, the 4-way tie with 5 nominations. So yeah, this is definitely one of the most prestigious awards that the Grammys have to offer. And let's get right into this year's nominees. We have Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran. Now, Ed Sheeran actually has a win in this category in the past. He won it with Thinking Out Loud, and he won it in 2016. And then we've got A Beautiful Noise by Alicia Keys, former winner, and Brandi Carlile, who's been nominated in the past but has yet to win. She's been on a real tear lately. I thought that she had pretty much topped out with that song in 2007 called The Story, but no, she was just getting started. And these most recent years have been as good as any for Brandi Carlile. But yeah, her and Alicia Keys are nominated with a duet called A Beautiful Noise, and then Olivia Rodrigo nominated with a Driver's License. H.E.R. is nominated with Fight For You. She is again the most recent winner of this award. Former winner Billie Eilish nominated again with Happier Than Ever. Doja Cat featuring SZA are nominated with Kiss Me More. Silk Sonic, that's the tandem between Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Bruno Mars, as we said, has like 5 nominations here. He's also a previous winner of the award. He had won it with That's What I Like. So him and Anderson .Paak's Silk Sonic project, they're nominated with Leave the Door Open. Lil Nas X nominated with Montero, Call Me By Your Name. Justin Bieber featuring Daniel Caesar and Giveon are nominated with Peaches. And then Brandi Carlile, nominated twice this year, but this time with Right on Time. Now, the Recording Academy considers a lot of things when picking a winner. It's not just commercially based. It's not just critical acclaim based, although you kind of want to, you want a mixture of both. Again, it has to have some sort of visibility generally, and then it can't be a song that was just totally panned, although I have seen critically bashed songs win this in the past. But from a commercial standpoint, I'll just give you how these nominees stack up relatively. Ed Sheeran's Bad Habits hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 in the UK charts. A Beautiful Noise by Alicia Keys and Brandi Carlile didn't even chart. So this was not a commercially successful song, but it was like one of those inspirational, impacting, kind of powerful songs because it's called A Beautiful Noise, basically saying that everybody has a voice. And it was basically to empower marginalized communities, people of color, LGBTQ plus. Brandi Carlile is LGBTQ. Alicia Keys is obviously a woman of color, but A Beautiful Noise was basically one of those empowering types of songs, but it did not have commercial success. Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License hit number 1 basically everywhere, the Billboard Hot 100 and in several other countries. It was the song that basically ignited the solo career of Olivia Rodrigo, who had a small stint in High School Musical. Like, she was a name that was buzzing, but Driver's License just killed it. And it launched that album Sour, which is also up for Album of the Year. And, she's up for several awards this year. But yeah, Driver's License hit number 1 basically everywhere. Fight For You by H.E.R. This is kind of another protest style song, and she actually kind of has like some Marvin Gaye-ish, Curtis Mayfield vibes on this song. Just like the groovy, like when you get out of the chorus back to the section of the song where basically you just do like a little croon and you just do like a little whoo with the voice, and it sounded to me a little Marvin Gaye-ish, Curtis Mayfield-ish, and you've heard her compared to like Lauryn Hill in the past. But Fight For You, protest song, did not chart. So this, like A Beautiful Noise, was one of those inspirational style songs. It was actually featured on the that movie Black Messiah, Judas, the one with Lakeith Stanfield, and then Daniel Kaluuya portraying the role of Fred Hampton. It was a 2021 movie, but this song by H.E.R, Fight For You, was featured there. But it, again, did not have commercial success. Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever wasn't her biggest chart setter. I mean, she hit number 1, for instance, with Bad Guy. But Happier Than Ever wasn't even the biggest success on her album, on this, second album of hers. But it hit number 11 on the Hot 100 and number 4 on the UK charts. She had other singles from this album that hit number 2, number 6, and number 10. Again, this one, Happier Than Ever, hit number 11. So it was the 4th highest charting commercially song for Eilish from this album, but it was the one that was selected or nominated for Song of the Year. So that tells you right now, there's not a direct correlation between commercial success and consideration for this particular Grammy. Doja Cat featuring SZA with Kiss Me More hit number 3 on the Hot 100 and number 3 in the UK, so it did pretty well. Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic, the Anderson .Paak Bruno Mars tandem, hit number 1 on the US Hot 100, but number 20 on the UK chart. So it did hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, as did Montero, Call Me By Your Name by Lil Nas X. That hit number 1 in the US, number 1 in the UK. Peaches by Justin Bieber featuring Daniel Caesar and Giveon hit number 1 as well. It hit number 1 in the US Hot 100, hit number 1 in Canada, hit number 2 in the UK, and then Brandi Carlile's Right on Time did not hit anywhere on the Billboard Hot 100. So neither Brandi Carlile song, she's more the singer-songwriter type, doesn't have what they would call bangers that you would hear on the radio in like the popular charts or getting the most, like just the most airplay. She's not one of those types of artists. But she is nominated here. The song Right on Time did hit number 5 on the alternative charts and number 43 on the rock charts. it just didn't land anywhere on the Billboard Hot 100, which is like the US's biggest like singles chart, cross genre, right? So you have, variance in commercial success among these nominees. Again, the only ones that hit #1 were Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License, Lil Nas X's Montero, Call Me By Your Name, Justin Bieber's Peaches, and Silk Sonic's Leave the Door Open. So, look, I like Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran a lot. It's kind of, he was kind of criticized for having a weekend-ish vibe to it. But it does have a cool groove. That and Peaches by Justin Bieber both have pretty nice grooves. Just like something that you could just turn it on any day and it just fits perfectly with the types of sounds that you're hearing on the radio today. What all the makings and the ingredients are for a successful single. Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran and Peaches by Justin Bieber, Daniel Caesar, and Giveon. Giveon, by the way, is from Long Beach, California. That's where I'm currently living. That's where I'm shooting this from. Long Beach in the house. Not too far from Long Beach Poly High School. That's where Giveon went. Snoop Dogg actually wrote the lyrics to Nothing But a G Thing. That 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Like less than 2 miles from here. But yeah. These songs, the ones that I just mentioned by Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran, have the ingredients for pop success, as does Doja Cat featuring SZA to a lesser degree with Kiss Me More. I personally like the Kiss Me More song more than both Peaches and Bad Habits. I like Bad Habits more than Peaches. Peaches, to me, I don't want to call it a cookie cutter radio pop-ish single, but it kind of is relative to these other nominees here. Like, it's not like reinventing the wheel by any stretch. In other words, it's a bop. It's a bop, but you get plenty of bops per year. It's just a really cool radio-friendly song. So I don't think that should win Song of the Year this year. I don't necessarily think Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran should win this year or will win this year. So let's get into some of the others. A Beautiful Noise by Alicia Keys and Brandi Carlile. I like it. I don't love it. It's a stripped down, pretty straightforward piano ballad, like a piano set soul ballad. Doesn't contain a ton of production. It's kind of skeletal in its production. They have great vocal performances, both from Alicia Keys and Brandi Carlile. Again, great messaging in the song. And then Brandi Carlile's other nomination here, Right on Time, I actually think I like more as a song versus A Beautiful Noise. So I like Right on Time more, but I don't think either of these songs, A Beautiful Noise or Right on Time, is gonna win this award. So what about Fight For You by H.E.R, which again, didn't have the commercial success, didn't chart. This was another one of those protest, empowering style songs. H.E.R is the current winner with I Can't Breathe. I don't think they're gonna give it to H.E.R 2 years in a row for Song of the Year, even though, she has been getting so much love from the Recording Academy, which is kind of interesting because she gets a ton of love from the Recording Academy, but not a ton of love from the critics necessarily. She's evidently talented and has, been pretty prolific. Like, she's got multiple albums, even though only one is considered an album. The other one is considered like a compilation or some other distinction, but not an official album. But she's recorded a ton of songs. She's had a lot of like Grammy nominations already, like more than a dozen, I believe, Grammy nominations in her young career already. So I don't think they're gonna bless her with 2 wins in the Song of the Year category. Like, that would be pretty crazy. So I don't think she's gonna win it with Fight For You. Billie Eilish, I actually like this Happier Than Ever song a lot. It's a pretty long song by Billie Eilish standards. The first half of the song is that very down-tempo, muted vocal, very laid back and just kind of dark and ominous vibe that Billie Eilish and Phineas have become synonymous with. But then the song kind of explodes in a way that's kind of uncharacteristic to a lot of Billie Eilish songs, where she's kind of blasting vocally in the second half, and the production is more blasting in the second half. It's not, so for the first half, you get your typical Billie Eilish style song, then it becomes something different in the second half. I think that kind of sets it apart from some other Billie Eilish songs in her catalog. She's already won in this category with Bad Guy. I don't think they're going to give her another win. that'll be 2 out of 3 years for Billie Eilish. Because again, she had just won 2 years ago with Bad Guy, so I don't think she's gonna win here. So that leaves Kiss Me More by Doja Cat and SZA, Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic, Montero, Call Me By Your Name by Lil Nas X, and then Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. Montero, Call Me By Your Name, I don't think is gonna win here. He's up for all kinds of awards this year. I think he's up for like, what is it, rap album? No, rap song of the year or best melodic rap song of the year, that category. He's up for that. He's been up for, major awards in the past with, Old Town Road, right? He's had a ton of success in his young career. But if you look at the song Call Me By Your Name, even though it's had crazy commercial success, if it wasn't for his style of rollout and all the controversy around the song, around the devilish, imagery and symbolism of the music video, him releasing a shoe with blood like in the shoe, in a capsule in the shoe, all of these different things that had nothing to do with the actual song, Montero, if you just looked at the song in a vacuum without any of this additional context that him and his team have mastered, the act of becoming viral. Like, that's really largely how he got on initially with Old Town Road. Before he was a recording artist, he was like a blogger for a Nicki Minaj fan site. So he has basically just taken on various names over the years before settling in on Lil Nas X. So I do think that he's kind of proven himself over these last couple years musically. Like, he's not a slouch. Like, he's a talented recording artist. I'm not taking that away from him. But he's as masterful a marketer as he is a recording artist, and I think that played into the commercial success of Montero, Call Me By Your Name. But as a standalone song, I do not think that is the best song of 2021. So I don't think that he should win this award this year. So what about Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic? Very good song, kind of a 90s-ish throwback. It's an R&B soul ballad. Beautiful song, really. Like, Bruno Mars sings his ass off on this thing. And, Anderson .Paak performs well on the song like he always does. And so they really bring it. I didn't love the entire album or EP-ish album that they put together, but this song was an ultimate standout. It's one of the best songs to me out of these nominees. I think it's on the short list. I think it's one of the 3 or 4 best songs here, but I don't think they're gonna get the win. Bruno Mars, again, he's been nominated several times in the past, and he won it with That's What I Like. I don't think that he and Anderson .Paak are gonna win it this year with Leave the Door Open, but I am keeping my eye on that one. It's one of my favorite songs out of this list. And then, so Happier Than Ever, I don't think they're going to give it to Billie Eilish 2 out of 3 years. So what about Kiss Me More by Doja Cat? I actually think that this is a 2-song race between Kiss Me More by Doja Cat and SZA and Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. And I said that Kiss Me More has some of the same pop ingredients that, the Ed Sheeran song and the Peaches song by Justin Bieber have. But I actually like Kiss Me more than both of those songs. But I think that Driver's License might win Song of the Year. I think that is actually the most likely to win this award. It has all the commercial success. It did also go super viral and launch the solo career of Olivia Rodrigo. But she is such a damn good songwriter, and her performance on here, the concept of the song, the delivery, and the composition of the song, it checks all the boxes for me. I really think that Driver's License should win, with Kiss Me More being the runner-up. Like, if Driver's License doesn't win, I think Kiss Me More with Doja Cat featuring SZA should win. That's another very, very good song. It's very pop friendly, and it does have a very pop friendly, radio friendly groove, but it's very cleverly written. I do think that it's pushing the envelope conceptually if you're listening to the lyrics of the song, not your run-of-the-mill radio style song conceptually. But I think that Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo actually deserves to win the award this year. But yeah, let me know what you think about this category. Who do you think will win, and who do you want to win? What do you think is the best song out of these 10 nominees? Please let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love music like I do. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.